Qantas is bracing itself for a rough ride ahead as it announces the biggest shake-up in years. The company is hoping to turn around $200 million in annual losses at its international division with a series of dramatic measures. And these include launching a new premium airline based in Asia with a different name and appearance to existing Qantas brands, a new budget airline to be called Jetstar Japan with Japan Airlines and Mitsubishi as shareholders, and some big staff upheavals. Qantas says about 1,000 jobs will go. Alan Joyce, the boss of Qantas, says those redundancies will be across the board, including pilots, management and engineers. Well, Steve Pavinas is the Secretary of the Australian Licensed Aircraft Engineers Association, and he joins me now from Melbourne. So, Steve Pavinas, this was the sort of announcement that unions had been warned about for some time.
Yes, we were expecting it on August the 24th, but Alan appears to have brought it forward. Very disappointing that he's seeking to put Qantas offshore and have an Asian entity. If he wanted to run an Asian carrier, he should have applied for a job up there.
Let's just hear from Qantas CEO Alan Joyce now talking about those job losses this morning.
As a result of the aircraft retirements, network changes and more efficient practices, approximately 1,000 jobs will be made redundant. The areas affected include managed positions, pilots, cabin crew and engineering. There is no doubt that this is tough, but consistent with past practice, we expect the majority of these redundancies will be voluntary.
So, Steve Pavinas, what's your official reaction going to be?
Well, it's very disappointing. I mean, there's a couple of things that we as a union can do. Firstly, it appears like the CEO has preempted some outcomes of our good faith discussions that are currently underway, and we'll seek to invoke some of the industrial action that's already been approved by our members. And then secondly, we'll have a look at our legal options as well, because at the end of the day, Qantas was privatised by the Australian government, and they put in place a Qantas Sale Act to prevent exactly what is happening today, that is the offshoring of the Qantas business.
Do you, though, recognise that Qantas had to do something to turn the airline's fortunes around, and that inevitably would mean job losses?
Well, Qantas have been saying for a few months now that they've been losing money on their international business. We don't believe a word of that. Qantas load factors are sitting at 82.6%, which is probably the highest they've ever had it. Their airfares are higher than all the other carriers around the place, so we don't buy into that. And then, of course, on top of that, you've got the carrier has been subsidising all of these start-up businesses for the best part of the last decade, such as Australian Airlines, Jetstar Pacific and Jetstar itself.
Steve Pavinas, we have to leave it there. Thank you very much.
Ciao.